Hello dear friends, today, in this video, we are opening a series of video lessons on teaching you how to play a musical instrument on a keyboard synthesizer that supports auto accompaniment, also known as play-along. To begin, let's start with what is auto accompaniment. First and foremost, let's get acquainted with you must master some chords on the instrument. Chords are a combination of several notes instrument. So, auto accompaniment is when we hold down certain chords with our left hand on a musical instrument. This time I pressed 3 keys, and at that moment, your synthesizer includes auto accompaniment. That is, he builds melodies based on 3 notes, providing the kind of help that will fill your own song. With drums, bass guitar, violin, and the piano and many others. I will now show you what this means in this music synthesizer. The accompaniment is turned on as follows: turn on the start/stop button, so that it fully supports you and your 3 notes. I will now demonstrate what it means. On this synthesizer, auto accompaniment is activated as follows. We press the start/stop button. In principle, all synthesizers work similarly. By turning on the start/stop button, in principle, all synthesizers play roughly the same. And here is the key, which is like an accompaniment. To turn it on or off, when I press start/stop, like, usually a drum beat follows after we turn on the auto accompaniment here. It lights up when we press 3 keys. The chord is called, and the synthesizer starts playing melodies on its own. Like, for example, a flute, bass guitar and piano. I will turn it off as well. The start/stop button. Here, usually on all synthesizers, there are several keys, the instrument selection key, sound, so now we have piano. Now I turn off the auto accompaniment. Now we have piano, as you can hear. Furthermore, when pressing the button, and here with a combination of keys, meaning we enter the instrument number, you can see it here. Briefly, what instruments are there? Piano, organs, accordions, guitars, basses, violin, saxophone, and so on. Flutes. Let's say we want a violin. On the violin, in English, it's strings. 54 is the first violin. I'm selecting. You see. The sound is accordingly a violin. And violin-like. There is also a style button. Style is exactly the style of auto accompaniment. So we can turn it on and we'll have a style like bread and 8-bit. If we change it, it will be some other style. Let's say a rock style. I'll turn on the auto accompaniment for you. It will be like a rock. We can change it to 70s rock or 70s hard rock. Change to 70s rock, 70s hard rock. We've changed all of this together in terms of style, or, in other words, auto accompaniment. That's enough. For now at this stage, these 2 buttons. When we voice it, when we change it, the instrument itself is what we'll play with, like piano or flutes. And the second one is the auto accompaniment. So, we will study this together, not starting from music schools where they teach music notation, not starting from hand placement. We will immediately start by learning chords. Chords are necessary for us to start playing any song with our left hand. Basically, almost any song. So, practically, almost any song can be played. Here using well-known 5 or 6 chords. So by knowing 5 or 6 chords, you can already play 99% of songs. It's the same as on the guitar. If you know 5 or 6 chords, you can play a significant number of songs. It's very important for practical purposes. And so, let's start from the beginning. First of all, with what a chord is. A chord is a combination of notes played, a combination of notes sounding simultaneously. In this case, for us, it's important that they sound simultaneously, because the synthesizer needs to understand that the notes are played simultaneously, and it quotes the auto accompaniment based on this. So we have a total of 7 of these basic notes. Here, I often include C, D, E, F, G, A, B. 7 notes. 3 here, 4 here. How should we memorize them? It's best for us to memorize them. Not just better, but it's necessary. All pianists and anyone playing keys always memorize them. Regardless of their level, they always rely on the black keys. In other words, for a pianist, the keys without black keys won't make sense immediately. They always rely on the black keys. Black keys have a specific characteristic. They either come in pairs of 2 or 3 black keys together. This pattern repeats. In other words, we need to understand that wherever there are 2 black keys or 3 black keys together, this pattern will repeat. So we need to understand that we should repeat this. We need to understand where 2 black keys are located. Black keys in this range from D to E. Where there are 3 black keys, there are 4 other notes, F, G, A, and B. So, once again, where there are 2 black keys, there are D, E, and where there are 3 black keys, there are F, G, A, and B. C. The simplest one that everyone starts with when learning notes is C. To memorize it, we use the following procedure in our mind, or how to find it on the keyboard. We find where there are 2 black keys, either here, here, or here. It doesn't matter where. Let's say, for example, here, I see 2 black keys. So, the note C will always be before these 2 keys, here. Here it is. But here, it's the same. Here are 2 black keys, and before them, we find C. Here, it's the same. So, to build our first chord, we need to find this note. The chord is always named after the first. Our first chord, we need to find this note. For example, if we want note, the chord is always named after the first note, which means, for example, if we want to build or play a chord, we find that note. So we find it, as we have already learned, here. It is this one. From it, we skip 1 key, 1 note, and build to more notes. So, we have 2 skips here, 1 note skipped. So, we have 2 skips, 1 note skipped, and the next one skipped. Let's turn them on. Let's turn on the next one. Let's play the piano. Yes, skip 1 key. Skip 1 key. Here is the first chord that you need to learn. It is called, for now, major. We won't go into major and minor right now. What's important is to build the chord. We always skip 1 key. So in principle, we need to skip 1 key. So, we always skip 1 key. For you, it will be the first exercise to find that note, to take a break from your piano or synthesizer, then approach it and find that note. Accurately hand build the E major chord from it. Now, let's talk about which fingers are used to play the chord. It can be played in 2 ways. Either you build it from the ring finger, skipping the middle finger, and then using the index finger, followed by the thumb. Or the second option is the pinky finger, the middle finger, and the thumb. For me, for example, it's more convenient to play it with the ring finger, skipping the middle finger, and using the index finger, followed by the thumb. It's more comfortable for me because when I need to quickly switch to something else, I can easily switch to these fingers. That's why. Try playing like I do for learning purposes. Initially, it's more convenient to position your fingers like this. And this will be your first exercise. When you're done with this, when you learn to approach the keyboard quickly, find that note and build the chord from it. You can move on to refining it, such as practicing from it 3 keys of the chord. Yes, you can move on to refining it, practicing it more precisely. You need to refine it so that you can play all the notes simultaneously, not like this. No, not like that. They should all sound simultaneously. Like this, exactly like this. Once you learn to do this, the next step is to play it in a steady rhythm, like this. Like this. Precisely in rhythm, what does that mean? Precisely in rhythm. On a synthesizer, in my case, there is a metronome. So, you also have a metronome to practice with. You can turn it on approximately with accuracy. Here, I turn it on with the metronome button, then here I adjust the tempo. Let's set it to 60, 65, 65 tempo. 65 means 65 beats per minute, the metronome will beat at a rate of 65 times per minute with the same frequency. We need to learn to play the chord to this tempo. We must first listen to the metronome and count to 4. In this way, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, that will be the next step. The exercise needs to be precise, like this. You need to learn to count to 4, then merge, or rather, TD4. After you master this, you need to count. One hand when you say 1, play this. Chord 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. At first, you might stumble a bit. Maybe you'll have something like 1, 2, 3, 1. That is, there may be some variations. It's okay if you stumble. Start again and continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Start playing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Practice this exercise for at least 30 to 40 minutes, and when you can do it precisely, when you hit the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 precisely, meaning on the 1, you press and play that chord, you will feel it gradually. Extracting music from the instrument. It would be good to then add drums. At the same tempo, 65. Any drums you like, and play along with them. Turn off the auto-ignition subscription and start counting again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it off, and you start counting again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Play 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, you need to practice. For a few minutes, even several tens of minutes. Until you can hit it precisely, hitting the 1 and 2. The drums can be different drums. You can turn on a variety of them. Turn on a bunch of them. Here again, you start counting out loud. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next step is to try counting silently to yourself, 3, 4.
Следующим этапом попробуйте считать про себя. Раз, два,
I will tell you right away that counting silently is a bit more difficult. Nevertheless, try it. If you can't do it silently, you immediately start over and count out loud again. After you have regained control, try counting silently again. Alternate between counting out loud and silently. Set it up, try it again silently, not alternating. This will be your next exercise.